இருக்கின்றது.
The culture of Shiva and devotion was not limited to Kashi or the northern parts of India. Tamil Nadu, the southern part of India, southern part of Bharat, was soaked with Shiva. Shiva and Tamil culture are intertwined. There are any number of sages and saints who are ardent devotees and they established phenomenally powerful spaces and also wrote great literature, spiritual literature. And if you look back, just a few decades ago, Tamil Nadu is soaked with Shiva. It's very important that we understand our well-being comes from this grace. We should not ignore this simply because we have little more money in our pockets, little more conveniences. If we forget this, we will pay the price. Manikya Vasagar, a great sage, a Tamil sage, said, "Tannaadudiya Shivane potri, ennatvarkum iraiva potri." Praise to the Lord of Shiva of the south. He's saying Shiva of the south praise to the Lord of all. Shiva is Lord to all, but he's of the south This is what he's saying. So there is such pride and devotion about Shiva and many aspects of Shiva, because this is not just a land of devotees. This is a land which is mixed with science and devotion. The same sages were mystics, they were devotees, they were mathematicians, they were musicians, they were scientists, because knowledge and self-knowledge were not discriminated. Nobody was foolish enough to think, just knowing how to handle the outside will make our life good. People were wise enough to know that as we handle the outside, we need to learn to handle the inward journey also, otherwise we'll have everything and we'll have nothing. In many ways, modern societies are moving in this direction that homes are full of goods. Family houses look like warehouses. Everything that they can buy and they've piled it up. But experientially, people are feeling empty, people are feeling lonely, people are feeling lost. People need variety of assistance. These days, a lot of chemical assistance. To be healthful, you need chemicals. To be peaceful, you need chemicals. To be joyful, you need chemicals. To be blissful, you need chemicals. To be ecstatic, of course there are chemicals. What Shiva means is, what Adiyogi means is, that there is a science and technology. As there is a science and technology for external well-being, there is a science and technology for inner well-being. If you make use of this, you will determine the nature of your experience. If you determine the nature of your experience, definitely, you would make it the highest level of pleasantness, or you would be in nameless ecstasies every moment of your life. That's how life is supposed to be. But today life has become a life of concern, life of loneliness, life of fear and anxiety, life of depression, and many varieties of problems. But as a generation of people, you have to admit, compared to any generation ever in the history of humanity, you are more comfortable and you know more conveniences than ever before. Especially all the ladies, I want to hear your voices. Is that all? Today is International Women's Day. I'm asking you to raise your voice. Especially ladies, you must understand, never before in the history of humanity has life been this good for a woman. Look back and see. It was almost… the nature of day-to-day life was almost like you had to work like a pack animal and continuously deliver children. This is the first time in the history of humanity you have choices. Please do not squander this. This is not the time for depression. This is not the time for stress. This is not the time for any kind of complaint. This is a time for celebration and growth. On the International Women's Day, you can't be with a better man than Adiyogi because he made one half of himself into a woman. Nowhere else, in any culture or civilization, is there such a God who made a woman part of himself. There is no place for a woman in heaven, wherever you go, because it's all man's dream. This is the only place. In yoga, there is Ida Pingala on equal terms. There is Shiva Shakti on equal terms. This is important, not just for you, for the future of the world. For this world to be fair and sensible, it is important we understand the principle of Shiva and Shakti. We recognize the balanced, equanimous approach of yoga and Adiyogi, the science of yoga. Because this is what will empower a human being irrespective of one's gender.
சிவபக்தி என்பது காசியுடனோ அல்லது வடநாட்டுடனோ நின்று விட்டது என்று சொல்ல முடியாது. தென்னிந்தியாவில் குறிப்பாக நம்முடைய தமிழ்நாடு சிவபக்தியிலே மூழ்கி திளைத்த ஒரு மாநிலம்.